Namaste. Namaste, and welcome to Mindfulness Moment. My name is Evalena, and it is a great privilege. It's an honor to be able to take time in our day to come here now. And this is the mindfulness practice. And this practice takes some discipline. That's not a word that typically inspires us so much, right? We come here to relax, to open up, and yes, and that is the absolute truth. But it takes consistency, it takes some energy. So, congratulations for being here, for showing up for your practice this day. There's a second part that the mindfulness practice teaches us. It's another part of the formula of showing up, making the intention to be in your body, to be in your breath, to be in this moment. That second part of the formula is to then let go, to detach from the outcome. So, whatever happens this day, whatever is happening here and now, we just are here. We're just in this moment. So, let's begin. Go ahead and take a seat. I'm sitting down on the ground today. You're most welcome to sit up in a chair if you're working at your desk or that just feels more comfortable for you. And we'll start here, putting your hands down on your thighs and start to roll your shoulders way up and then gently down and back and away. You can drop your chin as you do that. So go ahead, up you go, shoulders lifting. And we begin with movement because that is a really excellent way to come here. So you start to feel your body. Most often during the day, we are quite busy moving and working and filling the space and time energetically. We're often in our heads as we do that. And we don't take the time to really start to feel. Go ahead and start to circle your head and neck now. Keep the shoulders down and just open up and feel this moment. Feel the head and neck as you circle around. You might be hearing some little snaps and cracks in the spine as you're doing this. Deep breaths in, deep breath out. So you're here, you've arrived, you're right here now in your body. Let's add the breath. Inhale, float the arms up. That's an in breath. Let your breath lift your arms, and let's twist to the left, dropping your right hand against your left thigh, and just turn and twist and open up here. Move with your breath. Your core is nice and strong here. It helps you to elongate the spine in this twist, and see how much breath you can get in. Deep breathing in and deep breathing out. Good. Come back to center. Reach the arms up. That's an in breath. Take an out breath and turn and twist to the opposite side. So left hand is pressing against the right thigh, and feel that connection. There's some energy there. There's nothing wrong with a little tension. The body's perfectly designed for that. Shoulders are relaxed. Where can you move in a little bit deeper? Where can you soften in this moment? Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, come back up to center, reach your arms up, 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 turn your palms forward. Let's come into a forward bend. I'm going to drop my hands down on the ground. If you're seated, your hands might come down into your shins or your feet. Let your head and neck drop, and deep mindful breaths in and out. So this doesn't have to be your deepest forward bend. You'll go to where your breath takes you. Belly is strong, supporting the back of your body. You'll have the breath is traveling up and down the spine. You can feel it here on the sides of your ribs. Let your breath move through your body. Let your head and neck relax. And the practice is mindfulness in this moment. So pay attention. What sensations are coming up? You can walk your hands over to the right side and kind of crawl the hands over. If you're seated, you can just gently walk your hands over. You might even put your left hand against your thigh and just open up and stretch and breathe. You can feel this way down low, down into the hips, into the lower back. Come back to center, opening, and then over to the other side. You walk your hands and you stretch and you breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. So we are intentional. We're here in our bodies. Come back to the center and then up you go. Reach, reach, reach. Big breath in. Palms can touch, press your hands in a prayer, and exhale your hands right through the midline, over your nose, over your mouth. Press your thumbs right against your sternum and lift the heart. Relax your head and neck once more, breathing in, breathing out. So you might have a particular intention for this practice today. Maybe your hamstrings are feeling tight. You want to start there. Maybe you just need a little mental break. Whatever that intention is for this moment's practice, for this day's practice, go ahead and hold it. Hold it with kindness and compassion. Take a deep breath in, and here we go. We let it go. We send it out, exhale it out, let go of that intention. So we practice, right? Detaching, non-attachment. That's a big concept. That's a big action, actually, not a concept, but an actual action in the practice of mindfulness, that we don't and aren't attached to the outcome. Let's come on to hands and knees now, if this is comfortable. If your knees are not comfortable on the ground, I put a blanket underneath mine. You're welcome to stand in these postures. So flowing, be very mindful, careful about your stance. The wrist crease is lined up with the front of my shoulders. The knees are lined up with the hips, with the pelvis itself. So not too wide and not too narrow. And start to flow here, rounding like a cat. Inhale, go forward, opening up. You feel the chest awakening, heart open. Exhale, round, round, round. So here we go. Mindfulness, awareness. You can start with awareness of your lower back as your pelvis, right? The tailbone drops as the tailbone lifts. What is the experience in your body? Inhaling, exhaling. So we keep this awareness. We keep our attention. And we keep moving through the body, the whole body. So I have awareness underneath the palm of my hands. I can feel the knees or the feet pressing against the ground. This moment, this breath, in and out. So the attention, the intention to be present. So just feeling everything, anything just as it is. Go ahead and float your left arm up to the sky. I'm going to lean back. I'm on the ground. I'm tucking my toes. Up, up, up you go. Bring that right arm forward. Bring it forward and then float it back towards your hip. So moving into the shoulder, you can feel the movement there in the joint. Be aware. Pay attention. Go ahead and this time we're going to weave that right arm underneath the left arm and then drop the head. You can turn your head so that your right ear is resting against the ground. Stretch and breathe here, long through the spine, and pull back through your tail. Nice full breath. It's good for the lower back. It's a lovely stretch here. Feel the pelvis. Notice that. Try not to drop the right side of the pelvis. You can lift it up a bit energetically. Left arm can go up. Roll that arm around in the hips and the shoulder socket. Feel that energy. And then gently the left hand goes down. The right hand comes back underneath your shoulder. And flowing, cat pose and cow pose. Moving, breathing. Awareness of the difference. It doesn't take much to find the shift, to be aware. The energy moving through the body. Things will begin to feel and you will experience them differently. Tuck toes, I'm kind of pulling back. I'm sitting back on my toes. There gives you a good stretch for your feet. Left arm up to the sky, big stretch there. You can take that arm back behind you and then bring it forward. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Palm can face out. Bring that arm up, bring it back, bring it forward. You might be sensing, right, the movement into the shoulder, the big rotator cuff that is there, all of the muscles and ligaments. Maybe your shoulder is feeling really open today. Maybe there's a little sensation, a stretch or a twinge, or maybe even there's some pain. Go ahead and weave that left arm under that left ear down onto the ground and stretch and breathe. Keep the left hip buoyant and light with your breath. So try not to sink it down, but lift it up with your breath. And stretch and breathe. And breathe and stretch. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Gently unwind the left hand back underneath your shoulder, the right hand, and some more flow. Round like a cat. Inhale, open the chest. Cow face pose. Really experiencing this. Inhaling, exhaling. So great work. You're in mindfulness. This is it. Good. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Sink back into your hips and take a rest for a moment. This is a planned pause. We're going to come into a child's pose on the ground. If you are seated in a chair, drape your body up and over your legs and just let yourself find a place of rest and ease. And just simply be for a moment. Just be. Be in your breath. Be in your body. This is a training. This is practice. This is the discipline of this mindfulness practice that we trained for these planned pauses, that we don't have to do anything. We just become aware of what is in this moment. Nice full breaths. And the practice works. It's quite remarkable. Walk your hands forward, stretch, stretch, stretch. Come up onto your knees. If you're seated, you can begin to come up to stand. Go slow. Down on the ground, you can tuck your toes and pull your hips way up and back. So a downward facing dog shape there, pulling the heels down towards the earth. You can pedal out your feet and have a little fun in this shape if it feels good, if it feels appropriate for your body. We're all going to meet in a standing forward bend. I moved my prop out of the way. So come slowly to this pose. Be mindful of your stance. The feet are directly underneath your hips. Your toes are pointed straight ahead. So take time to find that. You can lift up onto the balls of your toes. And most of us have a little bit of tightness in the hamstring. So bend your knees on this, right, as we get started here. You can feel a nice stretch through the back body. Pull the hips back. You might even bend a little deeper. Let your head relax. And then if it feels okay, you can lift up onto the balls of your feet. Maybe try to straighten your legs a bit. Breathing in. Breathing out. Let the breath guide you. The breath guide you. Using your breath, go ahead and roll yourself up slowly. So come up, your head and neck are last to arrive. Coming up, and then again, shoulders way up to your ears and back and away. We started like this in our seat, opening up. Bring your hands to your heart. This time, bring your big toes to touch. It's an interesting reference point. You can slightly separate your heels and feel the energy moving right through the center. Good. Reach your hands forward, interlace your fingers, extend through your thumb and your index fingers. So you have this really strong, what we call a Venus lock. Lift, pull your shoulders all the way to your ears, lift your chest, engage your belly and go over to the left. Side body stretch. Bring that left hip in, right? Bring the right hip in. Nice full breaths. Good. Come back up to center. Let's go over to the other side. Big stretch. And try to keep that right hip into the hip socket. That left hip comes in, being very centered. Good. Look up. Use your breath. Separate your arms and dive forward. Belly is strong. Let go, let go. There might be a little bend in your knees here. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, go back down. Bend your knees deeply, bring your hands onto your thighs. So you're seated in this chair position, not actually seated, but feeling that energy. Stick your hips way back. Belly is strong here, opening up. Nice full breaths. We'll twist, bring your hands to your heart. Let's twist left. Go left. Try to keep your knees together. One leg might try to sneak forward. Use your breath, turn and twist, lean back. The lower you go, that's sometimes the easier this shape is. Breathing in and out. Good. Come back to center. Let's turn and twist. Try to keep that left knee back as you're twisting over, opening up through the top of your chest. Sit down, lean back. Good stretch for the hips. Good. Exhale, go back down to center. Let your arms go. Use your breath. Come up halfway. Stretch through the hamstrings. You might really try to straighten the legs a bit now. Be careful, mindful of the pelvis. You don't want that tailbone rounding way under. You see that rounding in the lower back. Stick the hips back. Exhale, release right back down. Use your breath and roll yourself all the way up. Arms out to the side. Big breath. Take that Venus lock up there, interlacing your fingers, your thumb and index finger over to the right. Come back to the center, over to the left. Nice. Inhale back to center. Hands to heart. Let's go wide now. We spent a lot of time in our chairs, perhaps in the desk if seated, if that's the way you work. Just in general in our culture, this is what we do. So take a nice wide-legged stance. Be clear about your stance. So the toes are straight across. One foot is not forward of the other. And then be generous with your stance. I'm taking my feet out pretty wide here. Hands can come onto your hips isometrically. Now draw the legs in. Really try to pull the legs in together. Pelvic floor muscles are strong. Core is quite strong. Float your arms out. Look over your left shoulder. Check in. Look over the right shoulder. Maybe one arm is a little bit lower than the other. See if you can even them out. Hug all the muscles onto the bones now. Really open up. Turn your palms so your thumbs face up to the sky. Get very big here. Core is working. Energy flowing in the body. Lift up onto the ball of the left foot. Turn that left foot. We're going to angle the right foot in slightly and bend that left knee. Virabhadrasana 2. Breathing, warrior shape. Hug the muscles onto the bones. Deep breaths. So there's an intention around this shape. Right? We're paying attention. This is mindfulness. Inhale, straighten that left leg. Lean back, turn the left hand up, lean way back. Both legs stay straight. Come back out, arms are in line with your shoulders. Keep the left leg straight and strong. Drop your left hand to the inside of your left shin and reach your heart. Look up. It's a triangle shape, so feel the energy. If it's challenging for you to look up, maybe look down today. Right? Find the shape, find the form for yourself. The mindfulness will appear in the pose. I promise you. Feel it. Maybe parts of the body are getting fatigued. See if you can soften. Use your breath. Come back up. Beautiful. Float your arms down. Turn that left foot in. Nice and strong. Again, organize. Arms out. Take a line, look at your shoulders. Arms are in line with your shoulders. Turn the palms up. You're nice and big here. Up under the ball of the right foot, turning that right foot now. Angle the left foot in slightly. So it's like a 45-degree angle. Hips are working towards square. Don't force that. Work with the legs, right? Pull that leg bone back and reach. Start to bend your right knee. Your gaze will go over your right hand. And here you are, warrior 2. Full breath. Drag your legs isometrically together. You can feel how that lifts you up. Feeling your breath. Turn your palms up. Arms lift. Straighten that right leg. Lean back. We're going to keep all that space. You're going to open up the arms again in line with your shoulders. Keep that alignment. The right hand to the right. Inside of the right shin. The left arm straight up into the sky. And breath is flowing in. Lean back. Open. Space in the body. Beautiful. Deep breathing. Push down through the legs. Use your core energy. Up you come. Turn your feet in. Right? Little opening here. Slip the hands back behind you. If you can find that Venus lock back there, try that. If not, it's okay to just rest your hands on your back body. Lift your chin and your chest. Open up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together as you come down halfway. Pull the hips way back. Bend your knees. Down you go. Your arms to the sky. Breathing deep. You can play with straightening your legs and lifting your arms up a little bit higher. And full breaths in and out. Go ahead and release your arms down to the ground, and you can move side to side here. Straighten one leg, perhaps bend the other. Run or stretch into your inner thighs, into the hamstrings. Go slow here, moving from one side to the other. Good, coming up. Use your breath, and then slowly and gently roll yourself up. You can rotate your wrists around, opening up. Shrug your shoulders, and then heel toe your feet in. Stand, the big toes are touching, heels are apart, palms facing forward. Stand in Tadasana. You're fully aware here. Mindfulness. Notice and feel the shift of energy. Deep, mindful breath. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Exhale, flow forward, arms out to the side. Down you go, hinging at the waist. Inhale, halfway back up. Exhale, release down, arms out to the side, and gently rise up. Let the breath guide you. Your palms at the top, touch. Exhale, hands to your heart in a prayer. Nice. Shake it out. So the discipline of this practice, this mindfulness movement, we're using these really beautiful shapes and forms to open up, to get the energy flowing through the body. A lot of it is about, right? If there is a goal that we let go of, is to be able to sit still, right? To sit still. So I'm going to come back down onto the ground. I have my blanket that I tuck underneath my cushion here. Just gives me a little elevation in the hips. My hips are quite tight, so it's helpful to have a little lift, and then sit yourself down. Maybe your seat today is in the chair. Absolutely perfect. So we'll take a pose here, bringing the soles of the feet together. You can do it in a chair as well. Might not get as much of a stretch here, and just kind of circle around, opening up. Remember, a lot of the energy, right? Trying to get the hips to open and flow, to feel the breath moving. Hands onto your shins, some cat and cow spine. Again, a great way to feel, to experience moving breath in and out. And then a forward bend. You're coming down. I have my hands just gently wrapped around the toes. Strap your head towards your feet. So maybe some of you can rest your head on your feet. My head is lifted a few inches above, and just surrender here. Forward bending is really a beautiful form and shape for surrender. Just let go. Trust what you feel. Letting go. Deep, mindful breathing. Inhaling gently, climbing back up. Let's take the legs out a little bit wider. Have the heels down onto the ground. Right? You feel the heels pressing. Hips are wide, pelvis is neutral. And then again, we'll take a forward bend. So your legs can go as wide as your breath takes you. I'm going to grab the outer edges of my feet and again, melt into that forward bend. This should feel good for your lower back. Keep flexing the outer edges of your feet back towards your body. You might straighten those legs. Feel the breath. The inhalation, the exhalation. Inhaling and exhaling. You notice the focus on the breath. Gently rise up. The focus on the breath. Good. Using your breath, go ahead and sit yourself up well. So taking a seat that is comfortable. I'm going to come a little closer. Crossing your legs, if that feels good. If you always cross your legs, maybe change it up. I like to do this. One of my dear practitioner friends, odd days, it's the right foot. Even days, it's the left leg that's in front. So go ahead, maybe you shift it up. It's interesting. We're very habitual, and that is very different than discipline, right? When we show up for our practice, we want to show up. This is the first time, maybe not for you, but first time this day that I'm in this seat. I'm just preparing for this moment. So we have a toolkit with us. This is part of the practice, the discipline of this mindfulness practice, showing up again and again. So we brought awareness into the body, into the spine. So you have this nice, strong, upright spine. You feel a relaxation happening in the rest of the body. So from a really beautiful base, the arms get very relaxed. I like to be intentional about the hands, a mudra. Today, the thumb and the index fingers can touch, and just rest your hands gently down on your thighs to keep attention and awareness. Now, here's the challenge, right? So find your posture, find a very comfortable, steady seat. This is an instruction right out of the sutras. to be steady and comfortable. So once you've found that shape, that form in your seat, go ahead and commit to that. Commit to that. Commit to the stillness, the physical stillness. The invitation for the practice of meditation is to find stillness in our beautiful mind, that we still the fluctuations of our mind. And there is fluctuations. It's quite recognized. We don't try to erase the mind. We just simply watch it, see where it is in this moment. So if beautiful thoughts, maybe they're not so beautiful today, maybe there's some negative energy around that come into the forefront of your mind in this moment, just recognize them, but don't serve them tea. This is the discipline, that you don't go for the ride with the thought. Just observe and notice, yes, and let that go through. And as you sit, as you surrender here, as you let go of the outcome of this practice of meditation, something else might arise. Again, you acknowledge and you let it go. Release. Don't attach. Don't attach. So we have some beautiful tools for this practice. You can count maybe one breath at a time. You can simply experience the inhalation, experience the exhalation. If the thought interrupts you, come back home, come back to your breath. And here's the discipline, just to stay still. Try to resist the urge, resist the mind that tries to move you in one particular direction. Just stay and be. Awareness. Just be aware of your breath. Feel it at the tip of your nostrils and gently draw it into your body, clearing you out. Exhale, releasing, emptying. Good. Intentionally start to deepen the breath, fill up. You can lift your chin and your chest, float your arms to the sky, a big breath. You can bring your hands together, pressing your hands in a prayer, and then pause here. Press your hands right in front of your forehead. We do this practice for the benefit of all beings. May all beings be free. May all beings be safe. And may all beings be healthy. Take another full breath in. As you exhale, this time your hands to your heart center. Come back to your own intention for this mindfulness practice. Hold that intention, hold it with love and compassion, and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, open your hands and send that intention out into the world. Bring your hands back together. Namaste. Thank you all so much for the privilege and honor of guiding you through this mindfulness moment practice. My name is Evalena, and I look forward to practicing with you again. Namaste.